I thought it was extremely ironic that on Saturday my smart meter failed and it got down to 54 degrees in the house, and a tech came out and replaced it with an analog meter. If in fact that cost shift exists, that it would amount to 74 cents per year for those who have smart meters, quote unquote, subsidizing the expense of those who don't. However, if you take consumers, for example, just consumers, $750 million rollout to do smart meters divided by their $1.8 million customers, that comes out to a total of $466 per person over a 5-year phase-in period, about $84 a year, which means the people who don't have smart meters are paying $84 to subsidize the people who do. So if there's a cost shift involved, it's 74 cents one way, $84 the other way.
An MPSC case U17053, DTE testified under oath there is no distinction between an AMI smart meter with its transmitter disabled and an analog meter. And under oath, they also acknowledged there is no mandate in Michigan law that requires the AMI meter to be installed. In DTE's punitive opt-out plan, customers have to pay an extra charge and yet are saddled with the very meter they are trying to avoid. A smart meter still has electronic characteristics that are disruptive to electromagnetic sensitive individuals, even with the transmitter off. Allowing the customer to retain their current analog meter actually saves the expense of the new meter as well as the labor cost to install it. Allowing homeowners to report their own meter readings like we did years ago, perhaps qualified by credit worthiness and occasional audit and secured with a cash deposit or credit card, saves much of the meter reader cost. DTE is quick to pass incurred expenses along to a special class of customers, but when there's opportunity to have those same customers save DTE money by not requiring the cost of a new meter, DTE defers. Apparently, DTE picks and chooses when to absorb various business expenses. Also note that U17053 established a projected customer opt-out rate of a meager 0.2%. Many businesses in a competitive environment absorb such minor expenses as a cost of doing business, especially companies that place a high value on customer satisfaction. But DTE does not operate in a competitive environment and does not fear losing customers. And where is the concern for DTE's added expense resulting from additional highly paid cybersecurity staff necessary to protect those computerized smart meters? And why should opt-outers share that cost burden? And what are the replacement costs for the considerably shorter lifespan of an AMI meter? And what of apartment and condominium residents with RF sensitivities and other medical conditions who live close to a large cluster of smart meters? Turning off one transmitter of, say, 36 AMI meters will do little to alter their exposure to RF. For them, opt-out fees represent payment for our worthless service. In a case contesting the MPSC's past opt-out decision, Judge Peter O'Connell of the Michigan Court of Appeals stated, quote, "The opt-outers receive no benefit from the AMI smart meter program and must actually pay to be excluded from it. But the opt-outer must also share in the costs of the program because of the increase to the base rate. I cannot discern the reason to penalize those individuals that choose not to be associated with the AMI program." And there are others who share this view, including Attorney General Bill Schuette, quoting him, "Customers will be required to pay rates covering both the costs of the smart meter program and incremental costs of retaining traditional meters. An opt-out program that requires customers to pay an unwarranted economic penalty for doing so does not afford customers a meaningful choice." And utility companies' comments suggest they intend to effectively penalize customers who choose to opt out. And in the MPSC rate case, when asked if, quote, "the cost impacts associated with the AMI investment, property taxes, depreciation, etc., are charged across the board to all ratepayers, whether or not they are opt-out customers," unquote, DTE's AMI manager answered yes. And the testimony of DTE's Director of Tax Operations also confirmed this expense was shared by all ratepayers alike. Again, we see that utility companies' cost focus is quite arbitrary, suggesting a self-serving and punitive motive.
On March 7, 2017, DTE Energy produced an article entitled House Bill 4220 would drive up energy costs in Michigan. I tried to verify the following sentence from the article. Over the life of the program, AMI will provide a net benefit of $81.4 million to DTE customers. This sentence was the only one with a source. That source is the cost-benefit analysis found in MPSC case number U18014, February 2016. That case number includes over 10,000 pages of information. After searching for 20 minutes, I found the exact source information under Exhibit A10, Schedule C513. All the benefits are projected from December 31st, 2015 to December 31st, 2017. If the article had stated projected savings, no one would question it. Act 286, Public Act of 2008, Section 6A1, gives the utility the authority to use 12-month projections. Nothing illegal was done, but the public is being led to believe that there will be a savings, but there's no guarantee. What if it costs? The legislature has not given the MPSC the authority to require proof or validation of a utility claim. On February 24, 2009, DTE Energy submitted a supplemental testimony by Steve Kermis to the House Energy and Technology Committee. Under benefits of AMI, on page 9 of that testimony, the following sentence is given. The AMI meters will begin recording energy usage at a level that cannot even be detected by traditional electromechanical meters. If I told everyone in this room that I had a scale that would detect your weight before you stood on it, I'd get more than a few laughs. Is that not a fair analogy? Let me read the sentence again. The AMI meters will begin recording energy usage at a level that cannot even be detected by traditional electrical mechanical meters. Higher bills? On March 7, 2017, the Michigan Environmental Council submitted a letter to the House Energy Policy Committee. Various testimony, page 33. The testimony is 5. The following is taken from that letter. Ratepayers were promised by utilities that they would receive over $900 million in cost savings. These savings will only be realized if the new meters are coupled with better rate designs which encourage customers to avoid using electricity during peak demands, aka time of use rates demand response. Will ratepayers save? That question was answered in 2015. In September of that year, DTE Energy filed a report with the MPSC in regards to case U17936. The report describes strategies for education, outreach, marketing, and customer support of time of use rates and other pricing options. On page 4 of that report, under customer benefits of time of use rates, there is a quote. That quote is, typically, customers who can use more than 2/3 of their use off-peak will save on their energy bills. Is it practical for the average Michigan resident to be able to shift usage to save any money? If the entire public was able to shift usage to off-peak, wouldn't the off-peak now become peak? There are many reasons to err on the side of caution and allow residential customers to keep their analog meters.
My husband and myself are strong advocates for the use of the analog meters as opposed to the mandated advanced metering devices. We have deep concerns over the advanced metering devices and their health implications. There are people out there, stranded populations, if you will, who are looking for safe havens, who are impacted by these meters. Personally, after recovering from a very grave cancer diagnosis, we have learned much about the types of influences that can have a significant health implications, including those contributing to a cancer diagnosis, which is a disturbance in cellular function. It is well documented that radio frequency radiation or microwave radiation operates at levels that are harmful to the functioning of our cells. Our bodies communicate through electromagnetic and chemical signals So the advanced metering devices and where they fall on the electromagnetic spectrum truly does matter. It is extremely important that our homes, at a minimum, are a safe haven from any harmful devices, especially to those that have not chosen to install them on our homes. For some people, the effects of the advanced metering devices and the emitting radiation can be felt immediately. For others, it may show up as significant health challenges that are not so readily identifiable over time from being over-inundated by the pulsed and spiked radiation frequencies. So who is at risk? You are at risk. Your children and your grandchildren are even at a greater risk, and the community as a whole is at risk for significant health problems in the very near future.
Those of us who support House Bill 4220 are not asking for anything new or special. We are simply asking for a continuation of a system of utility metering that has been in place for literally decades, lifetimes. A system that has withstood the test of time, that does not pose privacy or cybersecurity risks. A system that never posed an increased risk of fires, and a system that never exposed us to a possible human carcinogen. Smart and electronic metering will never be as safe and secure as analog meters. Analog meters represent a line of demarcation between a utility company and a customer. A utility company has absolutely no business knowing anything beyond how much of their service we use, so they can bill us accurately. Imagine going to a gas station to fill up your gas tank, but being required to attach a device to your vehicle that not only shows, but records in granulated data, not only how fast you drive, but where you go, when you go there, and how long you stay. Analog public utility meters have withstood the test of time for privacy, fire safety, security, and no issues regarding adverse health effects. They last about twice as long or more as the new electronic metering technology. And the truth is that some utility companies have not given us full disclosure regarding their smart and electronic metering technology. If you don't know where the concept full disclosure comes from, perhaps it would be wise to research it prior to voting on House Bill 4220, especially if you are in opposition. And then please support Analog Choice for the people of Michigan with no extra extortion fees. Thank you.